Well, hello everyone. My name is Luke Black. I am representing Serbia this year on Eurovision with my song Samo Mi Se Spava.
I just wanna sleep forever. I like it better when I dream. Želim zauvek da spavam.
I got into music and songwriting because I spent loads of time at home when I was young. I never really hung out with people or played sports. I was interested in computers and poetry, I guess. And there we have like now the songwriting and music production through the computer. And I think, that gave birth to the love of electronic pop that I do. Um, and most of the times I don't really write about love. I write about my inner thoughts and the situations on earth. Samo Mi Se Spava is definitely, I think, my magnum opus when it comes to my inspiration. The song Samo Mi Se Spava or Sleep Forever is created by myself, who wrote the lyrics, Majed kfoury, or the only Majed, who created the piano melody and went on to build this beautiful industrial kind of sound to it.
Samo mi se spava. I just wanna sleep forever.
And then Shurk from Common who I met in London throughout my studies, as well as Majed. We kind of like created this song and wrote it together and then made it a bit raver and more rageful. But it took a few years of working on it. I wanted to release it because I really believed in the message, but there was something telling me not to do it. And I'm really glad that the time for Eurovision came 2 years after we wrote it, that it's the right time to share this message. And I'm eternally grateful for my friends who worked on the song and produced it and co-produced it. And I think I'm glad to have met the proper people that clicked with my musical identity. The song in itself doesn't have any catharsis, whether you wake up or not. It's something that I didn't put in the lyrics because I really wanted to show it rather than tell it. And I used my performance to kind of elevate the message of the song, which is I want to sleep through all of the problems that I have inside and outside, but in my performance I'm waking up and I'm battling all of the demons that are kind of like making me afraid to go out and make a change. And I'm waking up people around me as well. So it's definitely an audiovisual experience. I got involved actually through a tweet, which was a joke that that I got the Eurovision song. But like my friends who are more optimistic in London actually made me apply, and they say you will win if you apply. We love this song, we love this track. They recognize something that they related to a lot, and I went on and I won, and now I'm on Eurovision, and I'm eternally grateful. I moved to London, I think 2019, to study music production sound engineering, and went on to do my master's degree in also in pop music. I enjoy London a lot. It has changed my music world a lot. It has changed and influenced my songwriting immensely, and I think for the better. So I do hope to continue to be there and kind of get that inspiration flowing and going for many more years. Representing Serbia feels good, especially since I've now become aware of more people that are like-minded, that have just been kind of like a bit more quiet when I was living there, and I see that there's loads of young artists that are emerging, that are amazing, that are the future of music in Serbia, and my heart is full when I see that. And I'm glad to represent everybody who are ready for my song and the performance, because I think we really need this kind of music in our country. Well, as much as I wrote Samo Mi Se Spava intuitively, I think also the whole performance, being deeply organized by myself and my friends, is also an indication of intuition. I am not ready, and I don't think I'll ever be ready, but I have a good feeling about the performance, and I'm mostly happy to be sharing this message, lyrical message behind it, but also for people to hear my songs, as I've been working diligently for the past decade to kind of, you know, work on my skills or find my sound or find the right people. It's a very difficult thing. You just can't make music like that and then release it. You need to fully be behind it, and to full, you know, and working with a good team, it requires a lot of effort. And I am really, really looking forward to performing that friendly effort, both on visual and audio aspect, and bringing it on the Eurovision stage. I have not really been planning too much ahead, which is, I guess, the definition of an artist. It's a huge platform, and maybe I should have been a bit more prepared. But I am a firm believer of that intuitive approach. So I know the music industry is quite well planned out. I have help, obviously, from my manager, from friends who work in music industry, from the knowledge that I've garnered when I used to be signed to a major label. And I already have loads of songs that I wasn't brave enough to release, which I plan on working diligently, releasing and honoring it with music videos as well. Maybe even Samo Mi Se Spava. And I think my main plan now that I've woken up is to never go back to my bed, but bring the bed to stage. I think collaboration is a really beautiful thing when you're a young songwriter and musician. I didn't have a chance singing in English in my home country to actually have anyone to write music with, so I had to do it all on my own and make music as well. But my first step was making music with someone else, and I think that opened so many doors. I think more brains function better than one, and sometimes many brains can function as a single brain, which is what happened with this song and its performance. I think don't release music ahead of its time. Just work on it a lot. Find your voice and find your message. I made mistakes, releasing music quite early on when I wasn't really ready for it. And it's not a big deal, but you want it to be 100% yourself, and just keep writing a lot. Write every day. Sit next to the pen and paper or computer or tablet, phone, whatever you're using, and just sit for 1 hour or 30 minutes every day and sit next to the paper and don't do anything else. And once, at one point you'll get bored and you'll start writing and it will become something beautiful. And I kind of did that in a way, and I've managed to recognize what works and what doesn't. Obviously, every day when you write, you're not going to write the best piece of work, but you'll tend to realize what is the best and what describes what you want to say a lot. And I think that is a good starting point. Thank you so much, PRS for Music, for this interview. It's been an honor. This is Luke Black, and I will be representing Serbia this year with Samo Mi Se Spava in Eurovision.
Samo mi se